Hello viewers, today I'm going to give you a brief overview of reasoning or logic in research and the common type of it, that is induction, deduction and abduction. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications about my new videos. So let me first introduce you with the concept of reasoning. Reasoning is the process of using existing knowledge to draw conclusions, make predictions, or construct explanations. Commonly, reasoning is a cognitive activity that dictates how humans respond to situations in every aspect of their life. Based on the work of C.S. Peirce, logical reasoning can be classified as deductive, inductive, and abductive approaches. We can also call these approaches modes of argument. The most common type of logic is deductive reasoning. It is basically called a top-down approach, which means from generalizations to particulars or from hypothesis to evidence. Hence, deductive reasoning is analytical and predictive, as it is a clarification of an already known or accepted relationship or fact. We can also say that deductive research goes from theories to data. Here, researcher attempts to find a very well-known or generally defined theory and then apply them to a specific phenomenon. The collected data will then either approve or disapprove these theories. Its basic function is to evaluate the hypothesis. Quantitative research is most commonly linked or associated with deductive approach. In deductive reasoning, if the starting facts are true, then outcomes must also be true. For instance, we say that mathematics is deductive if x is equal to 3 and if y is equal to 2. Then we may conclude 3x plus y is definitely equal to 11. Another simple example is that if theory tells us that all men live in Hong Kong are rich, then we collect data and found that Adam lives in Hong Kong. So based on deductive logic, we can conclude that Adam is a rich man. The second most common reasoning in research is inductive logic. Inductive reasoning moves from specific to general. Much scientific research is carried out by the inductive method, that is, gathering evidence, seeking patterns, and forming a hypothesis or theory to explain what is seen. So basically, this type of research called a bottom-up research approach. Inductive reasoning begins with observations that are specific and limited in scope. We can also say that induction is a process of justifying hypotheses with empirical data. For example, at a coffee shop, you observe that 4 of your 6 colleagues ordering the same type of coffee. From your observation, you then induce that the coffee is probably tasty, and you decide to try it yourself. In induction, your reasoning is based on an observation of a small group as opposed to universal premises. The third and less popular reasoning type is abductive logic. Abductive reasoning or abduction is making a probable conclusion from what you know. I'm explaining this with a simple example, such as if you see a hot cup of coffee on the very next table to you in a restaurant, you can use abduction to conclude that owner of the coffee is likely returning soon. In abduction, the major premise is evident. However, the minor part of evidence is not known or hidden, and therefore the conclusions are only probable. It helps you in generating hypotheses. In an everyday scenario, a familiar example of abduction is a detective's identification of suspects as evidence at a crime scene to find the original criminal. So finally, I am concluding all three types of reasoning with this simple example. So viewers, deduction is, if all swans are white and Daisy is a swan, then we can conclude that Daisy is white. So now see what induction is. If Daisy is a swan and white, similarly we can find that Danny is also swan and white, and another Dante is a swan and white. So now we found that all three birds are swan and white, so we can conclude that all swans are white. This is called induction. Finally, abduction is if we consider that all swans are white and we found that Daisy is white, then we may conclude that Daisy is a swan. I hope this video gives a complete overview of reasoning or logic in research. If you completely understand all three types of reasoning, so mention everyday examples in comment box. Thank you.